Well, well, well. Hello there, Lone, and Hannes, of course.
Hello.
Oh, I've left the volume on. Oh, hang
Left
on.
the volume on.
Yeah, no.
You're hearing
okay.
yourself a second time, Lone.
Yeah, no, I don't like it.
Do
Anyway,
you hear
we're
what
good.
I hear?
We're good. It's
yes.
fixed.
But yes, Lone and Hannes, how have your Wednesdays been going? How has your week been going?
Busy.
Can't complain. Can't complain. It's been good.
I saw that Lone was doing some. Were you doing a speed run? I think you were. I think you were.
Over the last two.
Yeah.
No.
2 days.
I did Sunday, Monday.
Sunday, Monday. That was it. That
Oh,
must
you
be
what?
when
You
I
mean
achieved
like
it.
just in general, or you mean recently?
No, recently. Recently, because I was watching a bit, and then I know Hannes was doing Layers of Fear, which we raided into. Which Layers of Fear is a very interesting game. Lots of spookums.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it was so good, so good.
I didn't realize there was multiple endings to that game. I know you watched a video at the end of your run just to like see how else it could have went.
Yeah, because there was 3 different endings to Layer of Fear, and we obviously just did one because I'm not gonna play the game 3 times on stream.
How dare you?
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, everybody. I disappoint. But and the other 2 endings were super cool to see. But the person who did the video also wrote out how to get those endings, and it was so intricate.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Is there not like a part of the game where it's just like, hey, this is the branch? Do you want...
no, it is absolutely not clear in Layers of Fear what you're supposed to do to get the other things.
Fair enough. Do you feel like it's you could have happened upon it in your first playthrough, or do you feel like you have to deliberately make this stuff happen?
I think you deliberately have to.
Right.
Because some of the things is like always follow, or like always avoid the wives' whispers. Always follow your own whispers, and I'm like, what whispers? You got to make sure, and then like for 2 of the other, like you have to make sure to push the wheelchair all the way to the end in the specific corridor, or you should absolutely not push this wheelchair. So like if you do one or the other, then you're just gonna get the basic ending that I got.
What was yours that your wife just hates you and curses you from beyond the grave?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And the other 2 are like a little bit more.
We should have
they're just still not good, but
we should have had a spoiler warning. But yes,
it was released in 2016.
I know, Lorne. I know.
If you've had Layers of Fear on your
Spoilers.
list for this long, then sorry.
But yes, Lone and Hannes, as is tradition, is this picture CGI?
No.
No, long exposure, but not CGI.
Yes, it is not CGI. However, I don't really know what this artist is trying to do with their work. It seems just lots of blue, grunge.
That makes a good art in my book. If I can't tell what's going on, then that's high art, baby.
There might be a coconut somewhere in the picture, Lone. I know you hate them.
Oh, yeah, no.
It's all gone
honestly,
wrong.
If there's any ginger there as well, then honestly, that's just a 1 out of 10.
Now,
deal.
We have talked about NFTs quite a lot, unfortunately.
Oh, for God's sake.
There is one, and it's fucking hilarious.
It better be.
So,
You've picked it up
when
now.
when you think of NFTs, you think, the digital things, the nonsense of the Bored Apes and that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Well, those are digital. How about this though? New York has its very own first NFT vending machine.
What are you talking about?
It's a vending machine.
But it's...
So you put in the thing drops out. So the idea is like, maybe you want a Snickers or like a Twix or something. And instead of that, you get an NFT. So it drops out and there's like a barcode on the back. You scan the code, and then you have you can mint a copy of a single color. And the color is random, by the way.
Right.
So, this article is from The Guardian. So, this dude who did this NFT to try it out was very unsure what they bought. So, they put the money in, because it's not money, it was their card. They have to put in their card deals. And then they pressed the button. First NFT got stuck on the spool. So he starts kicking it and banging it to try and get it to fall. Alas, does not fall. So he's like, well, I'll try it again to see, that you sometimes buy a second one if the spool doesn't work. Tried it again. Wouldn't you know it, the first one fell. Second one is now stuck. Instead of buying a third, they gave up. They're like, I'm done. They then contacted the company after awkwardly redeeming this NFT. And it's meant to be the hex thing, which gives you a color, like the hex and then the number, which indicates the color. It's meant to be like a 6-digit code you put in. However, theirs was only 5, making theirs just a blank square.
Right. Okay.
They then called up the person who does this, who's created this thing, and they were just like, "Oh, we're sorry, this is an error. We can refund you." If you'd like, and also we can refund you for the one that's stuck in the vending machine, because alas, vending machines are unfortunate technology.
This is just wild.
It's so bizarre. And then after that, the person was just like, so will my NFT be worth more now that it's got an error? And he went, maybe some people will look at it like that.
Well,
like the company has no idea. It's just clearly a weird stunt for people who have no idea about NFTs. I mean, we don't know anything about NFTs, but
this is the thing. Nobody knows anything about NFTs. Nobody knows the value of this particular JPEG versus that JPEG. It's just that some absolute freaking moron is looked at a money laundering scheme and said, "Oh my god, I want myself one of those," and then bought it. And now just a whole load of rich dickheads are just freaking throwing money around, buying pictures of freaking horrendously arted apes.
It's so bizarre.
It is terrible.
Don't worry, we'll move away from NFTs. I didn't mind vending machines, although they are janky, but NFTs, nah, let's get rid of them.
No, the vending machines these days are kind of good. You saw the ones where rather than having spools, it's just like
push.
It's like a cross. It's like a plus axis.
Yes.
So it just like slides along and just goes and just like cups your drink and then just brings it back down.
Yeah,
like,
I've seen those. Those are good.
Yeah,
we don't have this new technology in Sweden yet.
Hannes has very outdated spools.
Yeah, sorry, old school spool.
Spooler.
But yes,
I had to.
Well, what we covered very briefly is, remember the Ottawa truck people? That people are riding around in trucks with anti-vax and anti-max mask stuff. Well, we'll do some quick stories about that. So this is the My Pillow guy, weird Trump dude. He tried to send pillows to people who were, at the protest, whatever, via a truck. But obviously, the people who work for him are all unvaccinated, so they got turned away at the border. Now this guy got a new idea. He's like, how about this? I send a plane over and airdrop pillows to truckers. And just so you know, the article, he has specifically said, make sure that people know that tiny parachutes are attached to each pillow for safety.
Imagine if you were the unlucky sort to actually die by pillow impact.
Oh my god!
Just
by pillowing.
That's a tombstone right there, right?
Now we can rest forever.
That's like what I was thinking as well, going for the internal rust.
Oh god. Like imagine having that kind of mentality, just like, well, that doesn't work. How about this? Airdrop with tiny parachutes. Perfect. Greatness.
You would have thought he would just like airdrop an actual crate and then like distribute the pillows from there.
Or he could just get, the truck drivers vaccinated and then drive them over.
Ah, but he's not going to do that, is he?
But obviously,
I'm trying to
Lauren,
think boombastic here.
You're not thinking wild enough. I'm thinking submarine. Torpedo, straight through. Pillows. Perfect.
You should just like get a squad of people with t-shirt cannons, the ones that you use at arenas, and just
Fire them into Canada.
Fire them over the border.
Have you ever been at a live event with t-shirt cannons?
I have not, no.
Neither have I. I'm pretty sure
Wow.
that most countries in the world have a huge health and safety warning for this
Yeah,
kind
the
of activity.
the Americans seem to like them though, don't they?
But hasn't The Simpsons taught us anything?
Yes, it has.
Oh, I've even forgot what her name was. What was her name?
I don't know.
Ned's wife.
Ned's wife.
It was Ned's wife.
Yes. Oh, something. Oh God.
Well, of course,
Maud.
something Flanders.
Maud Flanders.
Maud, yeah.
Was it actually Maud?
Yeah, Maud
Yeah, it
Flanders.
was Maud. Because I was also thinking it was something with M. I mean, it was Marge?
I was like, Mo?
No, that's
Mo.
somebody else.
I was thinking Maud, and I'm like, just like, no, that can't be right. It's like,
Maud.
oh,
Maud,
Irony it is.
I believe. But yes, so also with the trucks, when all that was going on, it was Valentine's Day. So the Ottawa government has decided to redo Valentine's Day on March 14th. There's a new Valentine's Day, baby.
That's some like desperate marketing right there.
To be fair though, there's a thing in Australia called Australia Day, and like because of the floods in Brisbane, they pushed it back.
I mean that's fine. Like but Valentine's Day is not just a country's day. It's almost global at this point, and it's almost certainly being moved. I would say, because of just the sheer marketing and commerce around it.
Oh yeah, I mean the flower shops and that will definitely like benefit from it being moved.
Yeah, imagine like is a flower shop or like a chocolate salesperson, I don't know, like a Fountains or something. You would be devastated if Valentine's Day was just absolutely trashed.
Well, Lorne, you'll never guess what else has been ruined. Well, there's another downside, other than the Valentine's Day, and people are experiencing the phantom honking.
Wait, what? Like leftover honkings after the convoys are gone?
Yeah, so because people kept honking
Like
their
phantom
horns.
limbs?
So people kept honking their horns during the convoy, and because they're like so loud in like vast residential areas, now that they're gone, and it was so constant, there's a mild psychological trauma. It's very bizarre. There's like a phantom honking. It's like as if you can still hear a horn even though there's not a horn there.
My God. I feel really bad for these people. Can you imagine just being somebody who works in an office in downtown Ottawa?
Yes. Oh God, I hate that.
Do you think you would have a legal case? Like if you literally have now got trauma.
But who would it be
these
against
truckers?
though?
The organizers?
Maybe
I was
whoever
thinking
the
the same thing.
society holder is.
Yeah,
They
no,
could-
I was thinking the same thing, but probably the organizers. But then the follow-up question is, do they actually have money?
Well,
I mean, like, as an organization, obviously. Like, does that organization have anything that you could actually go for?
I mean, I would just ask for the truck. I feel like that would just be poetic justice. I mean, like, just turned around and said, well, I tell you what, rather than your life savings, I'll take your truck. And then they're not even truckers anymore. Who are they anymore? You say, well, what am I?
Can't do truck process if there's no trucks.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody who lives in downtown Ottawa gets one of the trucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's a strange thing. Like, there's so many strange like symptoms we've covered. We also covered, like, I think it was last week or the week before, uncombable hair.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember that kid. It was all upwards.
it's
on
very
that.
Boris Johnson hair. The ultimate hairstyle.
I'm still convinced that they're just not trying hard enough.
You want to super glue their hair down?
No, dude, just gel, man.
Yeah, but I mean that was the we already had
Yeah,
this
it's
discussion
yeah,
last.
it's uncombable, not ungellable.
unwaxable. Yeah.
But speaking of stories we've covered, there's a one we covered before. So, Lorne, do you remember the story about a teenager who was following Elon Musk's private jet around?
Yes, and Elon Musk asked him to stop.
Yes, he said it was a danger to his life, even though it's public information because he has a private jet. Well, now he's decided to do something else. He's decided to track Russian oligarchs.
Okay.
That feels a whole lot more dangerous than tracking.
Yeah,
Elon Musk. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
dealing with a very different type of person. Right
I mean,
now.
to be fair, it is private jet, so it is still, you know, it is still public information. Like, anyone could find this information.
Absolutely, but you know when Elon Musk tries to deal with this, he sends an offer for 5K or whatever it was. I don't think the Russian oligarch sends an offer of 5K. I feel like they send an offer of broken kneecaps or broken kneecaps.
Yes.
Yeah, that's ballsy stuff.
Well,
left cap or right cap?
Both. Both.
Both cap.
Yeah, both kappa. But yes, would you like a fun animal story, Hannes? I know your love of animals.
Yeah, hit me.
Okay, do you know what a sick is? Like, what kind of animal is a sick? S-I-K.
Ah, shit, the left kappa didn't actually become a kappa, but sorry, can you say that again? I was making a bad pun in chat.
I was saying, what kind of animal do you think is a sick?
A sick?
Yes, a sick. That's what it's called.
I think some kind of small furry ferret-like animal. I'm thinking something like a hamster.
I think I know what these are. Aren't they like, they are almost like deer-like creatures, but they've got like mini anteater noses type deal?
You're thinking of a different thing, which is very similar to the sound of sick. It's like a tick or tic tac or something like that. It's got that kind of sound, but you're thinking of something different. Hannes is closer with this
is
thing.
the name of the deer.
Yes.
Oh right, okay.
This is a sick. It is the Arctic ground squirrel. So these little creatures are extremely bizarre, and although this isn't a news story, I thought I'd share it with you. So these creatures hibernate for a long time, and how they hibernate is they get frozen completely solid.
So they literally do their own
blood,
cryostasis?
Yes, their blood cools down and freezes them solid.
Wait,
that
what?
is very
That is how
cool.
they hibernate.
Why are we only finding about...
Their blood cools down and freezes them solid, and when they wake up, their brain is all funky, so they can't remember what's happened, so they decide to eat like mushrooms, like which are kind of psychedelic. They're a bizarre creature.
That is so cool, though. I think that, like, hasn't that always been, like, one of the greatest hindrances to cryostasis for humans, that, like, we don't know how to thaw again?
Yeah. Like, obviously, if you shake them while they're frozen, they will die.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, they cool down their blood so much, it freezes them solid. It's a wild feature that I've never... It's so bizarre. Like, if we can figure out how they do it properly, then great. We'll know exactly what... We'll maybe be able to do something better with the tech. You know what I mean?
Super cool.
I just find this absolutely bizarre that we're just finding about this now.
Well, I mean, it's only because I brought it to you now, Lord. They're frozen for 7 months, by the way. They hibernate for 7 months. So they're not frozen for a couple of days.
No, Yeah.
7 months without like just banking that nothing's going to disturb them.
Yes.
Because like it's not just disturb and then like, oh no, I'm grouchy. Where? No, it's like, no, I die.
Well, they do wake up. They do wake up occasionally to bring their temperature back up for a normal 24 hours to go out of hibernation mode. So they do sometimes wake up for a single 24-hour period and then go back into cryostasis.
I wonder if can they go from frozen to thawed within 24 hours and back again. That sounds insane.
I mean, to be fair, you have to think about it like this: they only live for 4 years.
Aye, because they keep fricking their brains up.
Keep freezing themselves. They need to stop freezing themselves, don't they?
Funnily enough, I wonder if this animal would just change its. I mean, you would think so, right? Because it has to be in that environment. No matter how much you cool your blood, you're not going to like freeze unless the environment around you sustains that. I wonder if they would just live a normal life in a different climate.
I mean, maybe. I mean, Hannes, they're pretty. Like Sweden's pretty cool. Do you think you and you would ever get one?
Yeah.
Do you think you'd ever? Do you think you'd ever get one? So someone's asking.
No.
Someone's asking for one. So
Yeah. But Cupcake thinks that we should get anything with fur. So that's not too rare. But yeah, no, I don't think we would get an Arctic ground squirrel. And I was just thinking, you said it lives 4 years, and that's probably because it keeps freezing herself. I know it's a joke, but hamsters live basically that long as well,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, but this thing looks a lot bigger than a hamster. Like
It's a
usually
squirrel.
rodents. I know.
A squirrel is only slightly
I don't
bigger
think
than a
it's gonna
hamster.
live
A
that
squirrel
much
isn't the size of a
longer.
fucking bear.
I mean, judging by the size of it, like just comparing it to the blades of grass in the picture, like it looks like a rather large rodent.
Really?
Yeah,
I'd say
think...
it's if it's standing up on its hind legs, it's about halfway the size of my PC tower.
I honestly don't think this thing's as small as what we think. I think that.
We're gonna have to bring in a wildlife expert next time.
I mean, okay, I'll go to the description. The description says about 8 inches when it's upright.
Yeah, it's a squirrel.
It's a giant. It's huge. Can't exist.
It's a big ass squirrel, dude.
It turns into a block of ice. It's an iceberg. It's kind of adorable.
My point just being that the lifespan seems roughly appropriate for.
Yes, I agree. Well, Hannes, there's an update to one story we covered. It is about our lovely bear friend, Hank the Tank. Now, you looked at this story. Would you like to introduce it for us?
No, I've only heard it secondhand, so please, you go ahead.
Well, the very hungry bear, Hank the Tank, is in fact 3 bears, DNA shows. It is a trio of oversized bears that is responsible, not just one Hank the Tank. It is 3 Hank the Tank. It is now Hank the Platoon.
So do you know, this sounds like some freaking really shitty ass like action anime.
Only
where it's like you go through the whole first arc and like you finally win and you're all battered and bruised and you're on death's door trying to take a breather after your victory, and then you just realize it's like, oh my god, this is too more.
It's like you just like imagine they've just like managed to like get it away. They're just like, okay, we'll put pizza in this truck, and then hopefully we'll close the door. Hank will be gone. They close the door, and then all they hear is growling from behind as 2 more Hank the Tanks appear.
They protect their own.
Yeah, it's so wild that there's 3 of these big boys.
Hank's tank together.
Hank together, strong. Speaking of 3 individual things, you and Hannes and me, most all of us now, we've seen Jurassic Park, so we've definitely seen the skeletal structure of a T-Rex, right?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Well, the Tyrannosaurus Rex may actually be 3 different species.
Really?
Yeah. So they did some more analysis on the bones, and it seems like some of the bones aren't part of the T-Rex. They're part of 3 different species that have been cobbled together. to make a dinosaur. To be fair, this has happened before.
Yeah, I was
So
just saying.
the
I was thinking.
Brontosaurus, I believe, or the Brachiosaur.
It's Dracofish.
Yeah. No, but the thing is, like, they're basically playing puzzle without having any form of instructions.
Exactly.
It's all just educated guesses, so like it's not too much of a surprise that
Yeah.
some puzzle pieces have gotten mixed up.
I mean, it's
that's cool.
It's the same with So there's a thing known as the stretching effect. So when you see a T-Rex, you see its like skin like pulled back really far on its bones, as if it's like more like a lizard kind of creature.
Mm.
But obviously, if you did that with some creatures now, the effect is kind of different. It doesn't really like, it's so bizarre. Like there was, let me see if I can find an example. Hold on, let me quickly see if I can find an example for you. It's weird. I'm doing the
That's fantastic music.
yeah, we're now in an elevator with Lorne.
So it's the what do you call it? It's not in this country. What's it called? Jeopardy. Idle music, right? When they're thinking real hard.
Well, here it is. So, these are 3 creatures I'm going to show you, and these are creatures that you know well. But they have the same effect done to them because of their skeletal structure and what many scientists do to dinosaurs. So, these are them. Based on their skeletal structure. So, obviously, if people, like, don't know these animals, like, have never physically seen them, these are what horrors people would assume that they would look like.
Yeah. I've seen drawings like this before, and it's
because it goes off the skeleton, so that it's known as the stretching effect. That's why like a T-Rex may not look like anything like a T-Rex, let alone it being now 3 different animals.
Well, when did we figure out the feather thing? That wasn't like that.
No, it was like I'd say early 2000s.
Either. Yeah.
The swans are absolutely terrifying. I hate the swans. The swans are horrific. Like with their scythe hands.
I mean,
obviously for hunting fish.
Yes.
Right? They just poke those scythes down into the water.
The Grim Reaper of fish.
Yeah.
The swan.
I mean, it's the freaking baboon that's getting me.
The baboon is weird. It looks like a alien kind of creature out of like like some horror game.
Well, it's just strange as well because like it's the closest equivalent to us on this sheet. Like, imagine if
I've never even thought a stretched human.
But also as well, interesting that they've input the tail on the baboon. But do baboons have tails?
No, but they have a little tailbone. Like like some humans can still have like a little bit of tailbone, and if you saw that, you'd like maybe assume that we're just missing a couple of pieces. Maybe they had a long tail.
Yeah. I don't mean that's the thought process I was going down.
Zebras
I just couldn't remember if they actually had tails or not. Just one of those things.
But it's a very strange effect. But there's more animal stories. So, Lorne, me and you know magpies very well. Being from the frozen north. But I know the Australian magpie pretty well as well, and they're much more vicious than ours, I'll tell you right now.
Oh yeah, they're assholes.
Yeah, they're assholes. So, magpies team up to sabotage a study into their cooperation. So, scientists got some magpies and attached little GPSs to their legs. And what the idea was to show how they cooperate and work together, and like where they go like as a flock. Okay? 10 minutes later, the magpies got in a group and started just pecking away at the GPS trackers and got all of them off each other's foot.
I mean, well, joke's on them because they've actually provided a really good case study for magpie cooperation.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think
that's
that
my key too.
like although it states that they sabotaged the study, I mean technically they did, but they also provided some great data. I
Yeah.
think. I think that's a pretty good success.
I mean, does anyone know? I can't remember the name of the channel, but does anyone saw those videos where some kind of like wildlife expert or somebody who's studied a lot of wildlife does a tier list of does tier lists and also like
Yes.
in-depth analysis of animals as if they're like video game fighting
Yes, I
characters?
have, and they do like patch
It's a-
notes and things. Arc, I
yeah,
want to say Arc something, but I'm not 100% sure. Yes, I have seen their work. I believe our friend Conrad, they introduced me to their work.
because I remember the I think it was like African birds, it might have just been birds in general, like tier list of birds, and they said like pretty much
Marsupial.
marsupials
Yes,
that they're
marsupial.
just like by far and away like the S tier of birds because of just how strictly intelligent they are. Like they're actually pretty darn scary when you consider what they do and how they communicate and how they cooperate as well.
Got those top 10 birds. But
There's a
Lorne,
subreddit that does a similar thing though, that like pretends that real life is a video game. I always enjoy posts from that subreddit when it shows up.
Yeah.
well, Hannes, does your police force in Sweden have dogs?
Yes, we have canine units. Fairly rare, but we do have them.
Well, it seems that we have now adopted a new creature into ours because a goat has helped catch a fleeing suspect, or should I say, the American police force, not the UK police force. So, what happened is the suspect running away jumps over into a farmer's field, keeps running, goat comes out of nowhere, bang, knocks the dude down.
Didn't I tell you the story that when I was a kid I got tackled by a lamb? So I feel for this dude.
They're surprisingly tough.
Yeah, they are. They don't mess around.
I mean, I feel like that's the same for most animals, right? Like, we just take it for granted how weak and scrawny we've become through human evolution. It's like,
Yes.
oh, big brain, no need for big muscle. And every animal's just like, we still got big muscle.
We have big muscle.
That is true. They do
I
still
can,
have
I
muscle.
can bleat and roar, but me still got muscle.
Yeah, man. It's like, I wouldn't want to mess with a goat. Like,
I mean, I would-
because I mean, I wouldn't want to hurt the goat. If we're going to go back to the could I take a goat, I honestly think I'd have a good shot at the goat.
I think you'd be able to take a goat.
Oh yeah, I mean, like if we're legitimately fighting the goat to death, absolutely, I think that everybody in this call could take a goat. But if you're trying to capture one without harming it, then it becomes trickier. Just subduing one, I like legitimately more tricky.
Yeah. Well, this next story is kind of an animal story. You know what? Okay, so Hannes, you know when you see a picture of something like toast, and then people are like, "Oh, I see Mother Teresa in this toast."
Yeah.
This is what's happened, but people are seeing a cat. So, I believe it's the Canadian Space Agency. The space agency shares a satellite view of Earth, and the internet just sees a cat. So,
I'm
this
pretty
picture
sure that is
a cat
just a
or
picture
a
of a
satellite?
cat.
Okay, Lord, you've got us there. That is a cat. However, is this a cat? This is the Canadian Space Agency that shared this, and people believe that this is a cat.
I can see it.
I can see the
it
cat.
too. I can see it too.
I can definitely see the cat. The cat
I
is
don't
lying
know.
down
Keep
and
breathing.
stretching its paw out.
I mean, if it hadn't been pointed out to me that it is supposed to be a cat, I don't know if I would have seen it though.
Neither would I. I like if the internet hadn't just decided that this is a cat, I probably wouldn't have seen it. I would have just been like, it's the Earth.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I would probably have seen the cat.
Oh,
It's because it's not just because of the shape. It's because of it almost looks as if like it's got textures. Like
Well, like,
Like,
the slashes in the
like
mountain
Bengal,
structure
like
looks
Bengal,
like.
Texas.
Yeah.
Looks like a Bengal.
Yeah, I
Like,
agree. The slashes make it seem like it's almost like striped,
yeah.
even though
So
it is
honestly,
like mountain.
honestly, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt here. It is heavily cat.
Well,
I mean, it's cat enough that like the internet, like somebody said it, and a lot of people agreed enough to reach us, right? So it's cat enough. I'll give
it's
it that.
cat enough.
It's cat enough.
Well, from one piece of landmass to another, we're heading over to Italy, Lorne. Some of
Whoa.
my ancestors, the Italians, and some of them very angry, Lorne. There's some turmoil in a small Italian town, so we're going to head there now. Turmoil in small Italian town after judge silences church bells. So, obviously, there's lots and lots of churches in Europe, like a lot.
Yeah.
And like there has been fines before. Like if a church bell is like ringing too loud at like early, especially if it's like early hours of the morning, then they get fined. This is the first time that it's caused a bit of an incident because the judge has literally just cut off the bells and taken them.
Wow.
Yeah, they've just they've literally silenced it by cutting the bells. And
I mean,
they're calling on the European Commission to stop the judge because they believe it's like ruining their tradition. So they want them to stop and overwrite the Italian judge.
I mean, it's have they had warnings about this before the
yes,
this?
yes, they've also had like many complaints about these bells because they are very loud.
I mean, if they've been warned and nothing has been done, then eventually it is going to escalate to that.
I mean, they've been fined. Like it's the same way. It's the same with many things. Like if something is doing it at the early hours of the morning, it is noise pollution. So they've been warned.
But the thing is also, I was reading just the first or the second paragraph here, and they're saying that it's necessary to inform them of the start of a mass, a feast day or a feast day or one summer day, but also serving as a clock. Here's an idea though. You know what also works as a clock?
Is it? Hold on, Hannes.
A clock.
I was thinking the exact same thing, Hannes. We're on a similar wavelength.
Isn't that crazy?
In fact, look at the church. This is the church, by the way. There's a clock on the church.
Ooh, that's helpful. They can use that almost like a clock.
But how will they know? How will they know when it goes ding dong at midday, if not for the bells?
I'm just getting flashes to Blizzard and just like, don't you guys have clocks?
Oh, there. Oh god, there is a Blizzard story, by the way. There's a few bits of gaming news. There is a Blizzard story. But yeah, oh god, don't you guys have phones? Did Diablo Immortals ever come out?
No, I don't think so.
Is it on like
it's
pause
a phone.
or
It's
is it being scrapped? No, I know
really
what
don't
it is.
I think they went very quiet with it at least.
Diablo.
Oh yeah, it's the googling
Who's
section.
fastest? Who's fastest?
It's where
Fight.
Not given a release date.
Upcoming free to play video game. Initial release date was 2022 though.
According to developers at Blizzard, the game is still going to release in the first half of 2022. This news was 6th of January 2022. I'm gonna give that a big ol' X to doubt.
I mean, you never know.
I mean, it's there's apparently a few articles from some websites within the last week, including GameSpot, who say that it's still coming in 2022. Will receive changes based on closed beta feedback. So it's being whether it's going to release soon or not, they've at least gathered data on a closed beta. So you can only presume that after coming this far that it's going to launch. And honestly, I think they would be foolish not to launch, because the whole reason that it's a thing and the whole reason why I kind of was like, okay, this isn't that bad of a business decision, is because the East Asian market is going to love it.
Well,
and it's going to make them a fortune.
Well, Lorne, let's see if you think this is a bad business decision. So, Lorne, Hannes, do you like Mountain Dew?
I've never had Mountain Dew. You know what?
Really?
Ooh.
Last week we actually ordered some food home delivered because we are still a little bit COVID scared, even though Sweden has decided that there is no more COVID. So we got home delivered food last week, and they included a bottle of Mountain Dew as just a freebie.
Okay.
So I have a bottle of it in the fridge right now, but I've never tried Mountain before.
It is exceedingly sweet.
It's not that bad. It's
not bad. It's just exceedingly sweet.
It is laced with sugar, but for some reason, I still don't think it's the sweetest soft drink I've had. Like it's definitely sweet.
No, there's an Clone is saying it turns your poop green. I'm not sure if it does.
Let's see. We've opened the bottle.
Oh, let's go. Oh, we're not even camming it though.
I know.
No.
You've wasted it.
It smells sweet.
It is very sweet. It's
it will
sickeningly
be.
sweet.
It will be sweet. I'm not saying it won't be. I'm just saying I've tasted sweeter.
Well, now that Hannes
it tastes like stale sports drink.
Okay.
That's
I don't know what to make of stale. What does a stale drink taste like? What is that?
No fizz. Like it has a bad amount of fizz.
Oh right. I've never heard that referred to as stale.
Flat.
Yeah, flat.
Yeah.
Stale.
No, I'm gonna start using that.
Well, Hannes, would you like?
I'm not a native language speaker. I can use words incorrectly. So sue me.
Well, Hannes, now that you have attempted Mountain Dew, what would truly enhance this flavor? What if it was hard Mountain Dew? Because Mountain Dew Company is making hard Mountain Dew with Mountain Dew and beer.
I would have liked it more if they would have put like some whiskey. Why beer?
It's beer because they're teaming up with a beer company, so they're mixing it with beer. There's black cherry, watermelon, and original. When you want original hard.
I would try it.
I'd be interested in the black cherry.
I'd be interested in the. I would have to try the normal one first, because then what's the point? Like if I want to know what does Mountain Dew taste like with beer, then I need to have the original rather than some augmented.
Yeah.
Watermelon or black cherry. But honestly, I'm in terms of like just generic flavors of watermelon and black cherry, they're both winners for me.
Yeah, I agree. Well, speaking of like flavors, like what do you know how like Coca-Cola has lasted the test of time? It's had many flavors, but the only ones that have really stuck are like vanilla and cherry. Like they've had orange. I liked orange. Orange was good. I liked it.
Now, the thing that's gonna make you mad, or at least it made me mad.
You hated orange.
No, I loved it. But the thing is, though, the only place I've found it readily available since it's like limited time here was Japan. I'm pretty sure if I went to the local 7-Eleven, they would always have bottles of orange Coca-Cola in there, and it was freaking great.
That's one of the things. Just quickly interject. Also, a thing that I really miss from Japan, soda related, CC Lemon. Like this lemon soda. Yeah, CC Lemon. It's like this lemonade soda they have in Japan, and it's my absolute favorite soda. And it's so hard to get to.
Is it made by Yuzu? If Ethan was here, Ethan would tell you all about the Yuzu. Ethan does love his Yuzu, does what Ethan.
Was it the Lotus Lemon like sparkling water in the dormitory vending machines? I think I drank like a copious amount of that stuff. But the best thing about the drinks in the dormitory actually was we got our rules set for the dorms, and one of the rules was, hey, don't drink alcohol in the rooms. You can't do that. And then immediately turn the corner and it's like, oh, there's a vending machine here filled to the brim with Asahi. It's like, what do you expect me to do?
So in the international students dorm, they had a beer vending machine in the bottom, and at the same breath says, you can't drink, by the way. Everybody drank in their dorms.
Oh, yeah. Copious amounts, one would say. But,
well,
drink responsibly.
Lorne and Hannes, there's a person who's drinking something other than all your drinks that you've said and many, many other drinks. Because every 2 hours, this person requires milk. But not just any milk. A Georgia woman has quit her job to breastfeed her boyfriend every 2 hours.
No.
That broke you as a human being, didn't it? I could hear it in your soul.
Yeah.
I heard a little bit of you dying.
Is this from OK magazine? This sounds like the front cover of a glossy magazine.
It does
Like
seem
a
very glossy
like a
magazine-esque.
gossip mag.
But yeah, she quit her job because apparently it is the only thing that sustains this individual. By the way, the boyfriend is like an amateur bodybuilder, and he believes that it is the ultimate sustenance.
What are you
Like it's the
talking
ultimate, like
about?
you know, like
What are
it's
you
natural.
talking about? No,
I mean, the
this is...
quote here as well.
Yeah.
At that moment, I knew I had a partner for life. We both wanted the same thing out of a relationship. A magical bond that only breastfeeding can achieve. No!
So, like legitimately, the actual IRL question right here is that does breastfeeding, does like the ability to produce milk, like just keep on going if you keep like stimulating it? Because obviously when you've just had a kid, I know that obviously that's the intended time, right?
Yes.
Like how do you keep this going? Like, you know what?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Does it just keep going as long as you keep milking?
It's now a very bizarre educational show.
Yeah, just like, yo, they keep milking, so I
When-
keep producing. It's
when
it's
you
just-
want-
what the hell?
Ah yes, when you want big mommy milkers,
Yeah.
turn to Lady Dimitrescu of Resident Evil.
Damn.
But let's go to video game news. So you mentioned Blizzard, and obviously many people have mentioned Blizzard's scandal, you know, with the stuff in the workplace and things like that.
You mean the horrific cases of sexual harassment? Yes.
Yes. And there was a game show, and obviously, you know, at a game show they're meant to be prim and proper, and you know, meant to be quite calm and you know, very formal, you know, not try to talk about things. And they said, like, when they didn't cover it much, they just said we need to do better as a community. So all game developers and all gamers need to do better. And then the show host was just like, nah, fuck Bobby Kotick. Just got up on stage and he was just like, no, we don't need to do better. That guy's an asshole. Fuck him.
That is great.
Like, he got a round of applause from everyone in the audience. Loads of people love this dude. And you should see how awkward everyone else was, who were just, like, told to be like, ooh, just don't say anything. We're meant to say good stuff. Don't say anything.
Is the host like a personality in his own right? Like, have his own thing going on?
He said the thing. Ba 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 ba.
Nah, but that's
Yeah, Unfold,
great.
kind of funny co-founder and industry hype man Greg Miller.
Oh,
Stayed on
I mean,
Twitter.
you could also
his
say it's
airtime.
part of his brand. Like, it's probably
Yeah, it
on
is.
brand for him to just come out and say something like that. So
Yeah.
it would have been like if this person is just not known anywhere other than this company that puts on the show, then he just says that. Then yeah, that could maybe cause a bit more trouble, I guess.
Just
But when
a
I
smidge.
suppose you've got your own clout, and you're just like,
Yeah.
hell no, I'm not.
I mean, if it's
Being
like
quiet.
a job that you're like working for this, like, you know, you have to kind of follow some kind of precedent because it's, you know, you're working for this company. But like, yeah, good for him. Honestly, just call out the dude if the dude's an asshole, call him out.
Yeah, he's a
I
bit
think
of a
that's
prick.
fair. But there's some more gaming news because obviously, Hannes, you are gamer. Lorne, you are gamer. Together, we are gamer.
That is true.
Now, we all remember the tragic release of Cyberpunk 2077. And
I thought it was, for me, that had a PC, not a console, that could run it. It was okay.
I thought it was fun, even with the bugs. I personally enjoyed the bugs because they were so junky. It was it was beautiful. Like,
If I would have had a last gen console and I would have bought it, then I would have been very upset.
yes, I'd agree. Well, now there's an update, and obviously they're trying to get that clout back with this update. They're trying to get those gamers back in to play the game. And how are they doing it? Well, obviously, now you can receive, now you can receive some saucy photos as part of Cyberpunk's 2077 romance.
Oh, let's go.
Really?
Yeah. So, whoever you romance in the game, now you'll just randomly get a message saying, oh, well, here you go. Now you can get some saucy pictures from the lovely person you're romancing. Obviously, surprisingly, I can't show them.
Coward.
Well, no, Lorne, obviously I wouldn't want to ruin your experience when you decide to play Cyberpunk 2077.
Coward. I actually own the game.
You own it?
Yeah. I have the game. I just
That
never.
is weirder to me than this news story.
Yeah, it is. I have to agree. Lorne owning something and
Yeah.
not playing it is not news.
Hey, I mean, like, I left it alone because everyone was talking about the bugs and stuff and saying like, holding out hope that they'll fix it.
Well,
So I was like, okay, I'll wait. But the thing is though, there's not been a news story big enough to say like, this is the time to play. And I'm just like,
Well, now you've
I don't
got
think
this.
there will be though.
No,
I don't
neither
think there
do
will be
I. I
ever
think
like
it's
a
pretty
story
fixed
that's
as
like
is.
like
Do
free
you
to
not
play,
think they
like
can-
come on right in, because like No Man's Sky never got that really either until way after it was.
Yeah,
but
right.
I'm more comparing to The Witcher 3 because The Witcher 3 released a buggy, horrible mess as well, but that turned into an absolute beloved like giant killer of a game, right?
Yeah.
Do I think
So
Cyberpunk is a giant killer like The Witcher? Not really, but I mean, it's in a good state. I think you should definitely give it a go.
I mean, I have so many games to get through, because the games that I do play are quite long. They're long in the tooth.
I mean, you
Well,
still
long-
haven't finished Pogo Stuck.
You still
I
haven't
haven't
started Pogo Stuck. Don't remind me that I got loaned that game as a gift for his birthday. He hasn't played it. Years it's been.
I mean, I got another gift yesterday. the
Oh.
hit new game Vampire Survivors from Kajitsu Ken.
Vampire Survivors. I've not heard about that.
Oh yeah, that
Um,
looks good.
I'll have to have a
everyone
Google after this.
everyone and their dog in Hololive has just suddenly played it. It's just weird whenever you're like into a particular agency of talents, just one or two people will play it, and then suddenly everyone's playing it. It's like everyone's got their own Vampire Survivor stream.
Well,
I feel like it's something to do with the permissions, because like they get told when they can and can't play games. Like apparently they lost their permission to play Pokemon Legends Arceus has run out. So that's
Strange.
why there was a little bit of a rush for any of the talents who still hadn't streamed them finishing the game, that they had to do it quickly because they can't stream it now.
That is so weird to me.
that's
That's
so
like
bizarre.
It is, yeah.
Not
I
being able
suppose
to play
when,
just what you want.
yeah, because I mean, like there's also been like not huge drama, but there's been like bits where talents has said, I really want to play Persona or I really want to play Bloodborne, and then the fans start bullying the devs, like saying like, why won't you let them play your game? And it's just like, oh guys, calm down, please.
So
You're
weird.
making a
why are they
scene.
bullying the devs for that? Do the
'Cause,
devs?
well,
Isn't it the agency that needs to give their permission, not the devs?
No, I think it comes from like the devs or publisher. The publisher's got it, because I think when the talent belongs to a larger scale company, that there's a lot of red tape surrounding like copyrights and stuff like that. So you just have to get permission. From what I've gathered, at least anyway. I don't know any of this for facts, but I do know I mean, I don't know about like the exact like policies in play, but I
Yes.
do know that they need permission to play certain games at the very least.
Well, Hannes, speaking of
Yeah.
weird things coming from Japan, Japan has created another new thing, another weird thing, specifically for handheld gaming. Obviously, do you have a Switch, Hannes? I believe you do.
Yeah, I do. I do.
Yeah, and Lorne, obviously you have a Switch.
Uh, yeah.
Well, now you've got a brand new cushion. Thanco has released a face-down cushion for handheld gaming. The ultimate cushion is on sale now.
I keep seeing these things. Like this reminds me of the harness that's meant to stop your head lolling around when you try to sleep
Yes,
in a
I've seen that
car.
before.
And I'm just like, I'm never that desperate to play on the floor.
Are you saying you don't want? Are you saying you don't want to do this? Look at that.
That looks incredibly uncomfortable.
I don't know. Look at that. Look, it looks like it's a weird. You know what? You know the picture.
Somebody
in
took
the
a
circle?
massage bed and cut it in half.
Well, you know the picture in the circle. It looks like the lass is just like poking their head up from behind, like, you know, the seat of the car, like they're in the front seat of the car.
Oh
and then
yeah, that's
looking
Big
back.
Sis that turned around.
Yes.
Like, this is a car trip with the family. Big Sis in the front seat, just turning back and like, hey, we're stopping for McDonald's. What do you want?
Pretty much.
Do you know what it reminds me of? If you ever saw because do you know how you get tons of products online where it's just like obviously one company, one like manufacturer in China is just churning out like thousands upon thousands upon thousands of lamps, and then just little itty bitty companies buy them and just slap their own name on them. So nobody's got personal advertisements for them. So they just stick together a bunch of stock images, and it's like, oh, this is a family having fun in their living room. And look, there's our light on the table, and it's literally just copied and pasted onto the table. Like the lighting's all off, and it's like obviously it's not part of the set.
It does kind of.
That's what that picture in the circle reminds me of. It's like you've just photoshopped this. You've just took a picture of somebody standing up and looking at the camera.
Yeah, and I just put the product in front of them.
Wait,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
as Cupcake says, it just kind of looked like a very cushioned, folded chair. I do have to agree.
I still think it
mean-
looks like somebody took a massage bed and cut it in half.
Yeah,
Kind of,
yeah.
Like,
But
Lauren,
yeah, no,
do you think you are Hannes? Because obviously I don't know Japanese. I would butcher the language if I tried. What does the exclamation say, or something? Okay. Do you think you can translate on the fly?
No, my kanji is absolutely freaking. I mean that
I think it's a higher
last
chance
bit
that
is
Cupcake
psycho.
is gonna be able to help us here.
Well, that's psycho at the end, so that's like
How
best.
dare you, Lorne? You can't call me a psycho.
I guess it's like
Gamer
the
Guy
best
Psycho.
the best accessory for gaming or something like that is gonna be my guess. But Cupcake might be able to help us out here.
Yeah.
And like I've just thought, yeah, like if this person stands up, like with this attached to them, it looks like they've got like a
It's
neck
not
brace.
it's
No,
it's
but
not
I know,
attached
but
to
like Mike was saying, it looks like she's wearing a chair. Like if she stood up, then it does look like a neck brace.
the wide view is best for gaming. Right, okay.
The wide view.
Man, the wide view.
Look how wide it is.
I mean, don't get me wrong. We're roasting it a little bit here. I think it's got its place, but as a rather chunky fella, with maybe a little bit of a gut going on, like lying on my belly, and then just like contorting my back. So I'm lying on this thing. It just doesn't sound like a good time.
Not your cup of tea.
No, not at all.
Yeah. I'm
Well-
just like, can I just like lie on the couch? Like,
Well-
that would be fine.
Well, obviously, Hannes, with Switches and things, there's not an insane refresh rate. Obviously, you've got your 60 FPS, you've got your 120 FPS, but how much FPS is too much FPS? Because there's a company that has made the world's fastest gaming monitor, and it sports a 500 hertz refresh rate.
What graphics card is running that?
Yeah.
This becomes a point of how much can your eyes actually see?
Well, I mean, a combination of that, definitely that, but also what Lon said. Like, because at a certain point it becomes capped by like just the general game FPS and graphic card and stuff as well. Like,
I mean, because
this is future proofing, maybe I guess, but nah, it seems
It's okay. If it's future proofing, it's excessive future proofing.
yeah.
I mean, so my monitors run at 120 hertz.
Weak.
This is increasing the workload by over 4 times. So you're expecting my graphics card to work 4 times harder just to keep up with the refresh rate. Like, that's actual insanity. Like, my
It's
card
very
is not the
strange.
absolute tippy top, but
But you know that some people like the frame, like, are like very anal about frames in regards to like PC.
oh, of course, like that's why I went high refresh as opposed to high resolution. Like, both my I've got a 2 monitor setup, and they're both 1080p and technically 144 hertz. But obviously you just run everything at 120. And I think like next time I upgrade, I'll definitely maybe consider a higher resolution. But to me, it's the frame rates that makes the better difference than that little
Yes.
bump in resolution.
Okay.
But I get it, but at the same time, it's just not practical. It's not practical, I think, for anyone to try and run this monitor to its highest capabilities.
No, absolutely not.
Well, Hannes, this is your warning. There's one story left. This is the last story, and this is
All right,
old
all right.
weird news. We're going way back. We're going way back. So,
Old school, baby.
do you remember the famous bridge in London? The one which swings...
The London Bridge.
The one... I'll tell you. The one that swings open and is on the east side of London. The most famous bridge of all. What is it, Lorne?
The London Bridge?
Hannes, do you know what it is?
That's what I'm thinking as well.
The famous bridge that is an icon of London is not called London Bridge. It's called Tower Bridge.
Tower Bridge.
Yeah, Tower Bridge. It's a
Oh,
common
yeah.
misconception. However, when they were designing towers, because obviously the UK, London was a big port for trade back in the day. London would have looked very different. So there was an original design, because obviously there's not enough places for airports. There was going to be an airport in the centre of London. It was going to be a giant spiralling causeway across King's Cross Station. We've talked about that before, Lorne.
Yes.
But, like, this is some old history and weird history. We're going to look at the original designs for London's Tower Bridge. So for when they were designing it. So, the first one, when they were designing it, the first one was this.
Oh my god.
It's a little strange. So, do you see how it works?
That's to make sure that like cars could always,
Yes.
or I guess chariots of the time, but
Yeah, the
could
idea
always
was
keep
that
going.
cars had right of way.
Yeah.
So, the bridge itself would slide away and let boats through.
We have bridges like that. We have had, at least. I know I've seen bridges like that in the Stockholm area.
It
That doesn't go up, but instead they slide sideways instead.
so strange. That
Yeah, it
feels
is.
dangerous.
I mean,
it depends on the build quality, right? Like, if you've got a good enough architect on hands, then I'm sure you're fine.
Next, we've got the giant bridge. The idea for this one, because it was so tall, was that cars and wagons would go up in a spiral on either end and then go across. Those, the multi-story car parks.
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
Yeah.
Kind of like the equivalent of that, but back in the day.
That's kind of cool. I dig it. But it would be a logistical nightmare for actual traffic.
Yeah, it looks like each bloody section of it is a fortress. Looks like guns are mounted in the damn thing. It looks.
I'm pretty sure it needs to look like that just to be rigid enough to hold the structure. Because especially if you're going to be putting it that high, you need to make sure it ain't falling down.
Well, the also thing with London Bridge as well is like the reason they built it to look the way it was was so that it would fit in with London's old aesthetic. So it looks older than it actually is. Like the Brooklyn Bridge in America is older than the Tower Bridge.
Oh, fair.
This is the next design. So this idea was that there were two bridges, and for big ships, the bridge itself, the middle bit of the bridge, would swing out so that traffic could stay flowing. So the boat would come in, the bridge would swing out, then the next one, the bridge behind it would close, then the front bridge would swing in.
That kind of look. No, not really. I was gonna say it looks like they like Slussen in Stockholm, but not really.
I feel like if they did it like that, the amount of masts that will get knocked off.
Oh yeah.
I just don't understand the inconsistency of the width of the Thames.
Look, it's concept art. They've not measured it to scale.
I mean, but surely that's your job as an architect.
Yeah,
it's
I
a design.
agree
It's
here.
an initial design. It's not.
Oh, it's.
But
no.
even then, you know, maybe they should try
So
to.
just for some history, by the way, it was a competition that was held to come up with the best design. The guy in charge of it, looked at a few designs and then chose his own.
Right.
And then before it was
the winner
complete,
is me.
And then before it was completed, he died, and then someone was like, "This design's all right, but we should update it."
Nice.
Next is this one. So when it was built, this was to modernize London Bridge. Okay, so the idea was, later on, when they were thinking about redesigning it to cover it in glass.
That sounds horrendous. I mean, I suppose it basically makes it look like a skyscraper.
Yeah, that looks
Aesthetic.
cool.
I don't
think it
know.
looks interesting.
No,
I don't
I
think
feel
I don't
like-
think it would fit in with London's architecture. Maybe now because everything's glass skyscrapers, but
I just feel like when you're designing a huge bridge like this with moving parts, making it all glass just sounds like a freaking horrendous idea.
well, you know the top bit of Tower Bridge, the one that's currently there. You know that's a walkway. The idea was that foot traffic could always move. So there's a lift in each of the towers or stairs. You go up and then walk across. But like normally, by the time it took to open and lower the bridge, it was just quicker to just wait and walk over normally.
You could hold it as like a
They hold it as events.
a function room for parties.
But they do it as events now. That you can.
Well,
it's
there we
called
go.
the Tower Bridge Experience.
Ooh,
The
it's
eventual,
like this is the walkway which nobody even used back in the day.
and this was the
Wow.
original design. This was this dude's design, which got
Oh, wow.
updated.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not.
That looks very medieval castle.
Yes,
Hmm.
well, I mean, like the actual Tower Bridge does look kind of medieval. If you look at the
Oh,
original
yeah,
one,
yeah.
it does look medieval. It's meant to look older, so it fits in with the city. But as you can see, this was his original design that won the award, and then he died, and then it got updated.
I mean, the middle section kind of looks like a more squished Tyne Bridge.
It does kind of, yeah. They're just like, yep, that's how it do.
Squish it.
But yeah, that is the end of weird news. We
Hot diggity
ended on
dog.
bridges. Only the finest bridge in all of the UK. Well, no, the Tyne Bridge is by far the best. Just saying. 10 out of 10.
I mean-
Wood Bridge again.
Woodbridge
It's
again.
alright.
But yes, Hannes, are you going live? What will you be playing this fine evening?
We're gonna be doing some jumping.
Of
We
course.
don't really have full time to start up a brand new game, so yeah, we're gonna be jumping, hoping to
Alright,
reach
so-
the church today.
Well, Grey Cat Gaming gave this information to me, so it's on good authority that he will be doing beans.
Will
gonna be-
what beans
gonna be-
during
Gonna
jumping?
gonna be popping beans for every time we visit Forest.
No.
Come on,
Well-
you think you're going to be going back down the forest?
No,
I
no,
don't-
just
I don't think
because-
so. I don't think
Just
so. no.
because you've had
No?
a bad day at work doesn't mean you need to punish Hannes. With beans.
No, but there is a community challenge. There might be beaning anyway, but I'm gonna be saving the
Ooh.
beans for future bean streams where the entire stream will be
Why the entire
punished.
bean is stream.
When the entire bean is stream, yes. For anybody who is unaware what we're talking about with all these beans, it's basically punishment beans. It's a 50-50 chance to get an extremely disgusting flavor or a somewhat good one. And I did a really long Elden Ring stream where every time I died, I had to eat a bean, and I ate way, way too many of them.
Bertie Bott's
Too
every
many
flavour
beans.
beans.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
A
Think of the
bean.
sustenance, no.
Think of the sustenance, did you say?
Yeah. Sustenance.
Sock, my favourite.
Yeah, that's exactly the kind of sustenance I need at
I mean, it's
30.
sustenance
I mean-
isn't about flavour. It's about...
I mean, to be fair, Hannes, it probably has more nutrition than the Mountain Dew you drank earlier.
I
no,
mean-
not the sheer amount of sugar probably carries Mountain Dew.
But it carries jelly beans as well, does it not?
I wonder what's got more sugar.
Lorne, there's no more Googling. It's time for Hannes's stream. I apologise, Lorne. I know you love weird news. We'll have some more for
Son
next
of
week, though. It'll be fine. It'll be grand. But yes, thank you everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed and found some fun, weird stories along the way. But yes, also thank you, Hannes and Lone, for joining me on this journey, as always.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening.
Indeed. But now we're raiding over to Hannes's channel, who I believe should be live. And Hannes, have you muted yourself? Can we talk afterwards, or would you like us to just piss off?
No, I got an intro stream going. It's
Okay.
fine.
Well, we'll send you over there. But from me, Hannes and Lone, goodbye.
Peace.